What's good, YouTube? This your man Spill Dog. You gotta be impressed last night with Shakur Stevenson's defense. In a lot of the rounds in the second half of the fight, it reminded me of when Floyd fought Juan Manuel Marquez, where he couldn't, he just couldn't hit Floyd with and Floyd standing right in front of him, catching and slipping all his shots and returning fire. Shakur, he pitched he pitched kind of pretty much a shutout after the 6 rounds. He pretty much shut shut Zepeda down. But the first half of the fight was clearly the fight was touch and go. I felt like Shakur won the first 2 rounds, but then I felt like third, fourth, and fifth clearly went to Zepeda with the pressure. You know, a lot of jabs to the body, and then he was jabbing to the body, coming up top with the straights, and Shakur was used to timing fighters when they was press him like that, and every now and then he was able to slip in a real good, noticeable counter shot, but a lot of times he couldn't do it because Zepeda had so many punches coming, and he was punching, in 5 or 6 punch combinations, where Shakur Stevenson, as soon as he get ready to counter, boom, he getting hit. He was getting hit faster than he could get his shots off, and you could tell he was he was frustrated in the beginning. I think at that point he started laying on the ropes, using his defense more. It looked like he was trying to get Zepeda throw a lot of punches and drain a lot of his energy for the second half of the fight, which is pretty much what happened. Because the same way Shakur was frustrated with the pressure in the early part of the fight, on the second half, you could tell Zepeda was clearly frustrated because he was throwing so many punches and couldn't land nothing. And the stuff he did land, he didn't land clean in the second half of the fight. And it got to the point where he started being a little gun shy because he's shooting all his load, and he wasn't catching Shakur with nothing. And then Shakur would slip like a little quick uppercuts to the body, straight jabs to the center of the man's stomach. And it was beautiful boxing. It showed that Shakur Stevenson is what I always said he was, a multi-dimensional fighter where he can fight pretty much whatever style he need to get past a particular fighter. You can see that, that he made a lot of adjustments after the fifth round. And you have to take your hats off to him, man, because he shut a man down that threw 1,000 punches last in the fight. That's a lot of punches to be avoiding and getting past. Shakur did a great job in there. I expected him to do better. If I'm being honest, I thought he would shut Zepeda all the way down from the beginning to the end. Now he did get to that point in the second half of the fight. Although he shut him down, it wasn't no domination. It was just the fact that he won. He did a little bit better than Zepeda in all those rounds to me on the second half of the fight, and he got the victory. Now I was a little surprised at how happy he was and how excited he was about winning this fight. It let me know that he really was nervous in a press conference, because you would have thought he would have never Sugar Ray Leonard or somebody the way he was acting after the fight was over. He, don't get me wrong, I was proud of him too, but he really, really, really was full of himself in the interviews. You would think he just won the gold medal or something. It was a great fight, and I guess, see, this is why I say we don't know who these fighters are, most of them. The fact that Shakur was that happy to win a fight against a guy who all of us, well, most of the people who know something about boxing knew he was going to win. And, a guy like Tevin Farmer done already went 24 rounds with this dude. I would have expected way more out of Shakur. Well, I did expect way more out of Shakur than what I saw last night. I saw a beatable fighter last night. I hate to say it, I thought, you know, I had gave Shakur a little bit more credit than clearly he was giving his own self the way he was acting after last night. This was a fight that I thought would really be a kind of a cakewalk for him. I really felt like he was gonna knock dude out, and when I see that, how hard this fight was for him. It made me understand why he didn't sign that contract with Devin Haney. Because after seeing what I saw last night, as long as if Devin head is clear from let's put it like this, the fighter that Devin Haney was before he fought Ryan Garcia would have beat this version of Shakur Stevenson. If that would have been Devin and somebody who can jab and move and who got speed and reach, he would have had problems, especially when he was laying on the ropes and in the corner, just kind of leaning back, seeing everything. Devin would have been connecting. You know, uh, I'm less than confident that Shakur is the top guy at 135 for a fact. I think he one of the best. But what I saw last night, I know two fighters I would favor over him in a big fight at this point. That ain't no disrespect to Shakur. He fought a good fight last night, but you know, it sounded to me the way he was talking, that was his finest hour. This was the biggest fight of his career, and he passed it. He didn't pass it with flying colors, but he did pass it. And I just felt like, you know, uh, I would have thought he'd have been more sure. I mean, I was surprised. This is fair like this. I was surprised at how geeked up he was in a post fight conference after beating a guy who most of us felt like he should have won, and felt like he should have won a lot easier. I don't know if it was because Zepeda's pressure was on him like he was that Shakur didn't box and move, but he did show a lot of these people that didn't know. I always said he was he had a lot of discipline inside the pocket, and he was good fighting in that fashion. As a matter of fact, that's usually how he fight, especially against good fighters. He'll take that half a step back here and there, but he like to stay right there in the pocket where he can see everything, and he catching the shots on his elbows and his gloves. I mean, like I said, man, Shakur is a good fighter, but with his hands being like they are, because you could tell last night he don't want to punch real hard, so he gonna have to sharpen that defense up a little bit. If this is how he got to fight against the good fighters, he got to tighten up that defense, because although he had great defense, most of that was on the second half of the fight. In the first couple of rounds, he got hit with a lot of shots he shouldn't have got hit with, and some of them was just his fault for laying on the ropes and laying in the corner. Now the pressure is probably why he was over there, but I just would have expected a lot more pivots, different stuff out of Shakur. But he fought a great fight last night. But I also don't want to hear nobody, Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield. I feel like they can. I feel like they should be fighting these dudes. I feel like they got a chance against all of them. I feel like Floyd Schofield, Abdullah Mason are the cream of the young guys coming up, and Andy Cruz. And I feel like those three fighters are good enough to fight any of these top dudes right now. They don't have to wait no longer. And I think a big part of these guys trying to call them youngins and different shit like that is, setting up reasons for not to fight him. To Shakur's defense, he tried to fight Schofield. That's why I say if Shakur don't fight Schofield, I wouldn't even be mad about it. You couldn't do nothing but say, I understand, because you go through a whole training camp, then a week of the fight, a guy pull out. No, I don't want to fight no more either. If I'm Shakur, I'm not gonna go through that and that happen again. So if he don't fight, you can't be mad at him about it. But there's some good fights out there at 135. Who knows who gonna win them? I like Tank against pretty much all of them. I like Tank and Floyd Schofield. Them my two top guys in this division. Shakur is a guy who I have respect for, who I think is a great fighter, but I think he was better. He was a better amateur than I think he may end up being a professional unless he fight unless they real careful about who he fight. Cause I saw a beatable fighter last night. I really did. I saw a beatable fighter, and he getting clipped with big shots early a little bit too much. Josh Padley. Now, last night he got caught a couple of times early with big shots. He just lucky he ain't been in there with no puncher that do that. If Tank or Schofield catch him with a big shot early like that, he might not be able to. That might be it, or he could definitely get knocked down. So, it's these guys need to. It's time for these guys to fight each other. I like what Shakur said at the end of the press conference. It's time for the best to start fighting the best, and I think him and Tank realized that. When you having a problem they had early in these fights with these guys who they clearly should beat, is letting them know, stop all this motherfucking cherry picking, because y'all gonna end up getting knocked out or lose a fight, because you ain't gonna be ready when you gotta get in there with a real dog. But that's it for me on this video. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Till next time, it's your boy Spill Dog. I'm out.